بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Hi doctor, the voice is okay? So tonight's lesson on other maxims, new jurisprudential maxims, قواعد فقهية. And this one states الأقرب يمنع الأبعد. الأقرب يمنع الأبعد. أقرب means the closer. Bars يمنع, bars forbids the farther. Ab'ad is farther. And this is mostly related to the rules of inheritance, but not confined to it. Related to inheritance, but it is not confined to inheritance. How is that? According to the Quran, and we would study the madrak, the evidence. We would study the evidence of this in the Quran and the Hadith, that those who are closer to the deceased, they get the share of the inheritance. I mentioned we have three categories, tabaqat, three levels of inheritors, of heirs. Yeah, those who receive the inheritance, the heirs. If the first level are found, even one of them, then that one would not allow the inheritance to go to the second level. If no one is in the first group, first level, then it goes to the second. And if there is only one person in the second group, then the turn does not go to the third group, or to the third level, I should say. Why? Because the closer, they have the right to claim the states of the deceased, of their relative. And it is based on a couple of verses in the Quran and also the hadith of the Prophet and the Imams. In the Quran, the first ayah is Surah Al-Anfal. Anfal, which is 8 and then 75, Surah Al-Anfal. The famous ayah that states وَأُولُو الْأَرْحَامِ وَأُولُو الْأَرْحَامِ family relations. أُولُو الْأَرْحَامِ means family relations. بعضهم أولى ببعض. أولى from أولوية, they have a priority. أولى ببعض وأولو الأرحام بعضهم أولى ببعض. Family relations have the strongest claim on one another. They have the strongest claim. So families, they are closer to each other than non-families. Meaning that if you are a family and someone is non-family, definitely the turn comes to you. Or if you are a family but closer to the deceased than someone who is a family but his next generation, or next level, I should say. Tabaqatul irth. They call it tabaqat, levels. So this is one verse in the Quran. Awla comes from one verb. Awla means priority. Means they come first. There is one exception only. I would not tell you the exception now. In this law, there is one exception. We would discuss it later on, after that. But there is one exception to this rule. However, only one exception. The rest, whenever there is a son, then the son comes first. The son and the daughter, they come first. Who is in the first tabaqa? Children and parents, and definitely the wife. Okay? Children, parents, and wife. If someone dies, he has parents, and he has children, and he has a wife. Parents, each one gets 1/6. Each one of them, 1/6. The wife gets 1/8. So we give the parents each one 1/6, and then the wife 1/8. The rest is divided between the children.
So the parents get 1/3.
1/3,
Together.
yes, together, yes. Okay? So, this is one verse. The second verse in the Quran is in Surah An-Nisa. Nisa is 4:33. An-Nisa 4:33. وَلِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مَوَالِيَ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. I recite, I would tell you the translation. وَلِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مَوَالِيَ. To each we have appointed, جعلنا appointed. Mawali. Mawali means heirs. 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 Mawaliya mimma taraka al-walidan wal-aqrabun. For what parents and kinsfolk leave. Whatever they leave, the estate they leave, the inheritance they leave, we have appointed heirs for them. And those heirs are the closest people to them. This is the second verse. وَلِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مَوَالِيَ. So this is number 1 verse, and this is number 2 for this maxim, for this qaida. And also, the hadith, we take it from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and an Abi Abdullah, another hadith, an Abi Abdullah, Imam Abu Abdullah. Who's Abu Abdullah? Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. Who's Abu Muhammad? Which Imam's name is Muhammad? His first name is Muhammad. Muhammad al-Jawad. Muhammad al-Jawad. So Abu Muhammad is his father, Ali al-Hadi. Whenever it's said Abu Muhammad, it means Imam Ali al-Hadi. Abu Abdullah, Imam al-Sadiq. Abu Ja'far, Imam al-Baqir. Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, Abu Ja'far, because his son is Ja'far al-Sadiq. So Imam al-Sadiq says, this ayah دلت بأن الإرث إنما عنا بذلك أولي الأرحام في المواريث ولم يعني أولياء النعمة. Quran in this verse is saying not everyone in the family is entitled to the inheritance. Only those who are the closest to the person, they inherit him or her, the closest, not anyone in the family. Someone has a huge family, huge tribe. Not everyone is. What is the reason for that? Is this justice or not justice? Is this social justice? What do you think? Some people say, why? Someone dies, he has 500 members in his family. Each one gets a share. Versus no, the closest one they get.
Because the father is the head of the house. He's the one who's sustaining materially. So.
If he dies, what happens?
I mean, the
And let's say he has
family
a
can be without
supporter.
means of support, yeah.
Exactly. This is one reason. One reason is that if the father dies, we don't want his children to get lost. We want his wife to get some share, and the children, the sons and the daughters, and of course his parents, because he has parents, they also benefit from that. But others, cousins and uncles, they have, their own life, their own money. This is one reason. There is another reason, a subtle reason, economic reason, political reason, not just financial. If 500 people in the tribe, in the big family, extended family are going to receive, the wealth is going to be dispersed. It will vanish because each one gets a small portion. Neither the small portion is going to enrich them. Yeah, you get $10,000, for instance. What does it do for you? So it would not do a great benefit to the entire clan or tribe or family. But if it remains within a few number, at least that business, that capital, it's going to continue. They're going to benefit from it, rather than cutting it into small pieces and then it vanishes. Okay? So this is an economic point. Islam does not want the money to disappear. Someone who worked hard, yesterday, the founder of IKEA died at the age of 91. And imagine if his wealth goes to, 500, 600, how many, I don't know in Sweden how many people he has. Then the company is going to go broke. But if it remains in 2, 3, 4, 5, definitely the company is going to continue, or the wealth is going to. So this is another reason. فَأَوْلَاهُمْ بِالْمَيِّتِ أَقْرَبُهُمْ إِلَيْهِ مِنَ الرَّحِمِ. The closest people to the deceased are the closest to him through the rahim, the family relationship. But is it in the inheritance only blood relationship or something else too? Blood relationship is nasab. Nasab. We have something else with nasab. What is it? Same rhythm. Those who are related to you sometimes are related by blood. Nasab means a blood relation.
Oh.
Your father, your mother, your siblings, blood relation. But there is something else.
In religion too.
No. Family.
Oh, marriage. Marriage.
What do we call it, marriage? Sabab. Sabab. This is nasab and sabab. Sabab is marriage. You marry a lady that you don't know her. She's from different culture, different country. She becomes your wife and she's entitled to 1/8 if you have children, 1/4 if you don't have children. If you don't have children, she gets 1/4. Again, my friends, there is another point in the inheritance. Though we are not studying inheritance, we are studying قواعد فقهية. This maxim. But the wife entitles to what if her husband dies? To the entire estate? To the entire estate? Or to specific things?
Specific.
Such as?
Cash.
And?
Business.
And?
Not land, let's say.
Exactly. Not the land. Not the land. If he has a house, then we have to see how much the house is worth. Let's say 500,000 the price of the land, 300,000 the price of the building. She is entitled to the second, not the first. To the price of the building, not the land. She is not entitled to the land. Or he leaves a farm. she is not entitled to the price of the land of the farm, but the trees or the fruits or the building if there is a building on the farm. Why? Why the wife is not entitled to the land? Again, this is a strategic point.
It requires maintenance.
No. Maintenance, she can hire people to maintain it. No, she's not entitled to the land. Land is a land. Land is gold. Yes, she's entitled to the buildings, structure, the value of the structure, but not the value of the land. She doesn't receive the land. Even if they sell the land, she does not get money from the land.
Is that only because it has to be to the blood portion?
Mm-hmm.
They're-
Why?
I don't know, I guess they equate it maybe to almost like the raham, yani, the land is sort of more precious.
Because the husband, he works hard to purchase the land. And land is precious. This wife, after 4 months and 10 days, she can remarry someone else. And the land that this man worked for 50 years to acquire it and maintain it, now it goes to someone stranger who just came out of nowhere, fresh off the boat. He just arrived because he married her. He's entitled to the land. Islam says this is not justice. The land remains in the family. The land remains for the children of this person who worked 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. This is his land. Probably he got the land from his father too. How can we get it over a few days, few weeks? You transfer it to a stranger just because he married this lady? This is another point. So she would get some share, but not from the land. And this is why her portion is less than others. Because the wife, after 4 months and 10 days, she would remarry someone else. That person becomes responsible for her maintenance. So even if she doesn't remarry, then she's a mother of the children. The children have to take care of their mother in the absence of their father.
Does it apply to the husband also?
The husband gets double. If the wife has if they have no children, he gets 1/4
Of the land?
sorry, he gets one five. He gets half of the estate. If she has children, he gets 1/4. But the land does not apply to him, no. Because most of the time, the owner of the land is the male, the husband, not the female. Most of the time. Usually, even today in America, when you ask about ranches, farms, lands, buildings, the owner mostly is a male. In Islam, the female can inherit if she's the only survivor in the family. The girl, if she's the only, and her father is a multimillionaire, he owns half of Manhattan, let's say, it goes to the girl. So she receives, it's nothing to do with being male or female, no. If she's his daughter, then definitely she receives. She receives 100% of the inheritance. Nobody shares with her. Unlike the Sunni theory. The Sunni theory, they say she receives only 50%. The other 50% goes to the other people in other levels. In the Shia theory, as we discussed, you were not here. In the Shia theory, if someone dies, he has no parents, his wife is also dead, and the only child is a female. All his estate goes to this female, 100%. 50% by her first right, the other 50% because she's the only survivor in this tabaqa, in this level. So they give it back to her. The Sunnis, they say no, she gets 50% according to the Quran. The other 50%, we don't return it to her. We send it to the next tabaqa, next level. In the Shia theory, they say no. She claims 100%.
If there is a wife and a brother,
Hmm?
then brother gets something, right? Wife gets the same, 1/8,
1/8.
and brother gets the rest.
Everything. If there are no parents, he's the only survivor. He gets everything. Now, let's see if this rule applies to other areas other than inheritance. Again, the same rule. الأقربون أولى بالمعروف. The closer bars forbids the farther. The closer has the priority. It also applies beside inheritance on nafaqa, provision too. Atiyah, provision beside inheritance, provision. Who has the priority for the nafaqa in Islam according to the Islamic law? If a person has limited income and he has parents, where does he should, and he has money only to survive on, no extra money. So who should claim that money? Him or his parents?
What's the situation?
You have limited amount of income. You make $100 a month, and you have yourself and parents.
And the son dies.
No, the son is still alive. He's alive.
How should the $100 be distributed?
Exactly. Is it mandatory upon him to give to his parents or not?
You said the parents are okay, though? The parents
We
are-
don't know. They are not okay. They are not okay.
It's not mandatory.
The money barely sustains one person.
Apply for welfare.
For himself.
Not
He
mandatory.
comes first. Now, he has him and his wife, and a mother and a father. And the money sustains only two. So should he give it to... Now, we know himself is okay, himself. But the other amount of money, the other half, should he give it to his parents or to his wife?
His wife.
Hmm?
Wife.
So she comes first. She comes first. The wife comes first. And this is why sometimes we have, disagreements and quarrels in the families. The mother comes and she says, my son doesn't care about me. All what he cares about his wife. Or the father says, I raised those children and they never ask about me. They never give me anything. If they have extra, definitely they have to give. But if they don't make extra money, the son does not make extra money. Only him and his wife. Or him, his wife, and his children who are dependent on him. Then definitely the money goes to him, his wife, his children. Then if he has extra, goes to his parents. Then if he has more money, after parents, goes to where? Not his mother-in-law? To his siblings, definitely. But not his mother-in-law. Because some wives, they complain that I need to get more because I have my mother. No, he's not responsible for your mother. Your mother, her son is responsible. Her husband is responsible, not your husband. So him, number one. His wife, number two. Children, number three. Parents, number four. And siblings, number five, according to this theory. Where is the other application of this? Diyatul maqtul. Diyah is the amount of money that are given to the family of someone who has been murdered. We explained that, Arish June. You were not there last week. It's called diyah, the penalty that they give. If we find a person, there are two villages, and we find the person being killed. There is a village here, This is the distance. He is killed here. So this is closer to this. Closer to this village because the distance is closer. This is longer. We find him in this spot. So who should pay the diya? And we don't know the murder. We don't know the murderer. The perpetrator of the crime, we don't know him.
He was just found closer to one tribe.
Yes, closer to one village. So the people of this village have to bear the cost. The diya for his family. Because this is Aqrab. It's almost in their territory. Okay? The other place, the application, when you have zakat, how do you distribute or disperse, I should say, the money for the zakat? Do you give it in your neighborhood here, in your city, or to the next door city? Exactly. To your own neighborhood, to your own community, before you go to other communities. And to your country, before you go to other countries. Now, if in your country, no more poor, no more needy, then you give it. But if there are people in your neighborhood, in your city, this is what we do with zakatul fitr. This is what we do. Here I say, let's wait, see if we have needies here in this country, in America, in Orange County, in LA, in Southern, we give it to them. If not, we know that, alhamdulillah, people here survive, then we send to other places, according to this theory. Because those are أقرب. والأقرب يمنع الأبعد. الأقرب يمنع الأبعد. Does not allow to reach to the farther. The last example, also it's about diya, the money that goes as a compensation for someone who's being murdered. If someone, as I mentioned last week, this is a manslaughter. Someone killed someone else by mistake. What is the punishment for this act? You are not here. We said there are 3 types of murders. One of them by mistake. By mistake. Okay? So, what should we do in this case? By mistake, who pays the diya?
The killer.
Hmm?
The killer.
The killer himself?
Yeah.
No. His family. Aqila. The heads of his family. They collect from them. In the second case, what was the second case?
Intentional.
He was killed.
Manslaughter.
Yeah.
Not a mistake. Manslaughter, meaning that he pushed him on these stairs, but he did not intend to kill him, but he did something dangerous. And it happened that his head hits the floor and he has brain injury and he dies. He didn't want to kill him, but he did hit him. He pushed him. So this is manslaughter. Who pays the diya here?
The one who killed.
The perpetrator pays the diya. Now we comes to premeditated act. Someone planned to kill this person specifically, and he prepared his gun and he shot him and he killed him. What is the penalty here? Death. Qasas. Unless the family of the deceased, they forgive him. In that case, if they forgive him, what is next? When they forgive him,
He has to pay diya.
still he has to pay the money. He himself, to the family.
And they can request whatever they want, right? So let's say the
No, if they can't request imprisonment, either qisas, either retaliation, or no retaliation, then they get the money.
But if let's say they request a deal he can't afford.
No, The diya is not, the diya is prescribed.
Oh, there's a set.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
The diya is 1,000 golden coin. Gold coin. Dinar. 1,000 gold dinar. And the dinar is a gold coin. 1,000. Now, if he cuts his arm, someone cuts the arm of someone else, how much is the diya? He caused his arm to lose his arm.
On purpose?
On purpose, of course. They were fighting.
The same thing, 100, he has
Huh?
to lose his arm too.
Hmm?
The same.
No.
His
Suppose
arm.
no qasas. He has to pay. Let's say they forgive him. How much he has to pay for the arm? This is for the whole body. The arm. How much is it? How much discount you give?
The problem with the arm is he's gonna work in the future, so. if
Ah.
it's
For how much we pay?
should be 1,000.
No.
That's how
One
much-
arm, 500. Two arms, 1,000. Because he's going to disable him from working as if he's killing him. So if he cuts his two arms, he has to pay 1,000, the price of the whole body, because he completely disabled him. Now, if someone killed, he's a murderer, and before they capture him, he ran away. He ran away. So neither we can punish him by killing him, nor we can get the money. And he shut his bank account. Let's say he took his money with him, and we can't put our hands on his assets. So Haj Nadim, who pays here?
His family.
His family. Who's in the family?
The head.
The same one who has the right to the inheritance first. Those who have the right to the inheritance, here also they have to pay the diya. Meaning whom? His children. First people are his children.
Yeah.
And of course, if not, the parents. They have to pay the diya for the victim.
If his children are still young age, do they wait until they grow older to pay it back, or immediately? they would-
Whoever can pay now, whoever has the cash, the money.
Okay, it has to be now.
If they don't have kids, then his wife. No, wife doesn't have his parents. Parents doesn't have the siblings.
But it has to be immediate.
Of course, the diya is they don't wait for it. The diya is a quick compensation.
Is it also 100 camels for the entire body covered?
I have to check and see. But from my collection it's a golden dinar.
I think in Iran right now they set it at 100 camels.
Camels? No camels in
Where are
Iran.
you gonna find it?
Yeah, so the price of camel.
Ah, the
Oh,
Since
price.
there's no camels, then
The price.
insurance companies don't know what to do.
Why can't they price it to 1,000 dinars? It's the same.
In Iran, the mahriya they do golden coins, but the diya they do camels.
But if it's rare, then it's very expensive, huh?
Yeah.
Camels are very big. Insurance companies don't want to insure camels.
Now I just did a marriage just now, before you arrived. So the man is Iranian and the wife is American. And they got married 35 years ago. They have children and their children are married. Now, because he wants to take her with him to Iran, so he's applying for Iranian citizenship. So she has to be a Muslim. She has to do her Islamic wedding. So they got married in 83, the same year I got married. So I told the wife, you didn't put mahar here, it's empty. She said, what is mahar? I said, you don't know mahar? He didn't tell 35 years with you. He didn't tell you. He kept it secret. I said, it's a marriage gift. Ask him $1 million, $2 million. He said, no, Imam, don't. I said, believe me, if you were an Iranian, you would have asked for 1,000 golden coins. Not. He put reluctantly he put $1,000. $1,000. I said, if you were Iranian, you would have asked for 1,000 golden coins.
Actually,
Okay.
people sell it at 1,000 gold coins these days.
Of course, they
And
come
nobody
to
can
me.
pay.
The numbers are amazing numbers. They don't pay. You think they pay? They don't pay.
No, they don't pay.
They don't.
1,000 dinar.
They don't pay. Nobody.
Discounts.
What time is it?
Gold coins?
I already paid it.
Got it right out of the way.
We used it. I paid it and we used it.
Okay, let's just do this one. الإذن في الشيء إذن في لوازمه. I'll translate. Permission for something is also considered a permission for what it takes. لوازمه, what it takes. الأذن, permission. Permission given to something is also considered, this is a maxim, this is a law, is also considered a permission for what it takes. Examples. Someone gives you permission to use his property, his apartment. That means implicitly he agrees that you use the shower, water, gas, electricity, television, garage, the kitchen, the living room. Because he gave you permission, he said, use my house. My house, you can't imagine a house without water, house without electricity. You can't come and say later on, oh, I didn't give you permission to turn the lights on. No, he can't say this. Once he gives you permission to use the house, then everything in the house, everything which is typical, not things that are not normal or typical. Such as what? What is it that it's not typical? It's not part of the logical, it's not part of the agreement.
Using their jewelry.
Exactly. You don't go on to his safe box and you say, well, I found cash here, so you give me permission. No. No. Urf, public opinion says no. This is not using the house. Using the house, using the chair, the bed, these things. But not things that are not normal. The other example of that, the Prophet ﷺ, he gives this example. If you buy a property, this, of course, today it looks, silly, but in the old days, this was something important. Then, when you sell a property, the road that leads, the path that leads to that property, you also sell it. It comes with the property. Meaning, someone has a property at the top of the hill, and there is a way leading to that one. So when he sold the property, by implicitly he also sold the way. Because how can the man uses the property if you don't give him access? If you tell him, no, hey, you don't have access. You may fly, land there. No, it means that you agreed. This is part of lawazim, what it takes to use the property. The other thing, these things are used in the court, You know that?
Yeah, of course.
Many people, even here in America, they use them in the court. Someone comes and he blocks your driveway in these complexes here. And he says, well, I found a spot to park. No, this is not your spot. I have to have access to my garage, to my house, to my, my door. You can't block it. Even if I don't put a sign. even if I don't put لعنت بركسي كده. They put لعنت, you know. انقوم, believe me. Allah. Now it's very لعنات upon someone who لعنات on his father and mother who parks in front of mine, because people don't listen. So you don't have to put all these signs, disclaimers, لعنتنا. This is my property. I have to have access to it. You don't have the right. You don't have to right to block it, or you may get permission. One of the things that I learned in America, nice things, which is not found in Arabic countries or Islamic countries, that here, even when you invite the guest would not park on your driveway, unless he's very rude, purru. Some of them are really very rude. They come and boom in front of. But those who are polite, they don't park. They don't want to block that. They park in the street. This is something good that we learn in this culture. Now, if someone invited, let's say, his friend, his cousin to visit America, and he applied for a visa for him, and that cousin, he went for the interview. Does that also implicitly, according to this maxim, implies that once he invites him, he also would offer him accommodation, or that guy has to go to the hotel?
Provide accommodation.
Because this is an invitation. You are telling him, come, visit me. So this implicitly means accommodation, food, transportation, and some people say airfare too. Airfare. You invite a speaker. I get invited many times to many countries. Alhamdulillah, it didn't happen with me, but it happened with others. They told them, you pay for your airfare. But you invited me. I have no business to come to this country. In this case, he is responsible for everything. But what is everything? Everything or normal things where the urf says, yes, this is acceptable. Such as someone comes here, and then after he arrives, he provided him with lodging, with a room, with food, transportation, and then he expects him, for instance, to buy him jewelry. Take me to the jewelry market and buy me because you invited me to America. Huh? Buy me this, buy me that. Take me to Costco every day. I have to buy electronics, these things. No, that one, Urf says no. Urf says maybe he would buy you sandwich, he would buy you soda, things, you know. But he would buy you jewelry and this and that. No, it's not included. Or someone went somewhere else and he expected them to go and have a massage every day. Because this is part of the invitation. So no, that does not apply to this. And the madrak for this, my friends, is also riwayat. Riwayat. One of them is عن الحسن الصفار, page 31. عن الحسن الصفار كتب إلى أبي محمد. The Rawi is الحسن الصفار, الحسن الصفار, and he wrote to Abu Muhammad الإمام الهادي, الإمام الهادي عليه السلام. Okay. فوقع. The man asked him that I purchased a farm from someone. Imam answered him, فوقع means the Imam wrote the answer, written answer. إذا ابتاع الأرض, أرض means the farm. When you purchase the farm, بحدودها وما أغلق عليه بابها فله جميع ما فيها إن شاء الله. If the farm has a fence and a gate, then whatever within the gate, inside the gate and within the fences, then this is yours. Trees, you know, aqueduct, the artificial river, for instance, he built. Or let's come to a house, property. Today, property. You buy a house. In the house, there is a gazebo. Is this part of the house or not? Huh? Part of the house. Does not come and dismantle the gazebo. Gazebo is something solid, built in. I know in some countries they take off the chandeliers, believe me. The wires, the bulbs, they take them. Sometimes the knob, this is knob. Wallahi, I've seen. And sometimes the windows. Believe me. These are fixtures. They have to stay. So in order for you to prevent, you have to write every day, I am buying the house with the windows, with these knobs, with the doors. Wallahi, I'm not joking. I've seen this. Wow. Serious, yeah? You have to write every single details. I am buying it with the wires inside, with the pipes inside the wall, with the heater, whatever, the tank. What they call it?
Water heater?
Huh?
Water heater?
Water heater. Because they take it. The air condition, they take it. The air condition, they take it. Yeah. The telephone, you know, nowadays the telephone is available, but in the past you have to apply. Takes 2, 3, 4 years to get the telephone line, landline. They would take the line, sell it to someone else. These are part of the house. The house is called house because it has windows, doors. These are typical things. Muta'araf. Muta'araf means typical things. So they have to stay and they are sold with the house. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.